Beck, Lost Cause on XFM 104.9. Wow, Carl, we haven't had a lot of emails. They're tough.
I'm struggling.
Yeah. I've got one, and I'm struggling with two, but I know one of the words, but I can't think of the band that fits it unless the clue's wrong, and I've got no idea with the first one, E.
Give us them again.
Just quickly recap. Number one, the fella has only got one badge left. That's E. Second one, the unmarried lady's a friend he out with. That's MD. And the last one, I really, really love that woman. I love everything she does. That's M.
Well, Ricky, what is it?
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
So keep those coming in. If there's no winner, we don't know whether to give it to the person who gets the most right first, or have a massive rollover. And what a Christmas booty that would be, as Carl said. All those. Imagine what you could have. Indecent proposal, maybe.
Who knows?
You know what I mean?
I've got some real junk, so I can bring that in.
Yeah. The mean machine.
Imagine someone
Vinnie
this
Jones.
Christmas. Yeah, exactly. This Christmas, I can't believe it. Oh, thank you so much for the Pelican brief. I noticed you left the price on.
And it's on VHS as well.
Oh, great.
Brilliant.
It's a perfect Christmas gift, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Okay. Now, so that's going.
CDs.
That's going. That's going on. That's a big prize. It's a big weekend prize on XFM. Educating Ricky, part 2. Right. What's the clues left?
Well, we've got left the headlines. I'll be no buying one of them.
Yeah.
And we've also got chicken. You believe it? Chicken. You believe it? So they're the two that are left. Which one's you going for?
Chicken, you believe it, is not that picture, is it? That we saw.
Which picture?
The bloke with the...
No.
Right, okay.
God, that was bad.
Right, okay,
so...
I just better explain
we
that.
can't really discuss this on it, can we?
Well, we can. Steve brought in, Carl, the best book ever, which is, what is it?
I found it when I was moving house. It's an FHM publication, and it's kind of like lots of grotesque pictures and stories, and like the book of a book of freaks and weirdos and
Carl opened it, and the first one was like...
At the back.
At the back.
Well, you couldn't believe your luck, could you?
What was it? What was number 50?
A bloke with 2 heads.
And he said, what's number 1?
Yeah.
And then number 6, there's a bloke who's a squid or something.
Octopus.
Yeah. Yeah. He's loving it. And number 1, he said, well, it's just a fella under a rock. And I went, oh no, read on, I think I know about this. And it's the fella that was found, he caused a landslide while having sex with a chicken. And they pulled him off, and there he is, the chicken owner.
Right,
so Carl could not believe his luck. So it's not that.
Chicken, you believe it?
I'll have that one.
You're going for that one?
Yeah.
Right, well, we've talked a lot on the show about,
we've talked a lot on the show.
Yeah. About animals without heads.
We haven't! We haven't! We talked about cockroaches could live without a head for 7 days.
Yeah, we've talked about that, and then of course there was the well-known one about the fella who had his head cut off, and he
blinked.
He said to his mate, "Count how many times I blink when my head comes off."
Yeah, when you told it to me, you said his head came off, and he said, as he said it was in the basket, quick, count how many times I blink. And it was Nick Frost that had to go, no, Carl, no, he said it before. I went, and that was lovely. So yeah, we've talked quite a lot about things heads coming off. Go on then.
Well, this one, right? Back in 1945.
You looked up the date.
Got a specific date. Wow.
Mate Jonathan sent this one. You know him as well. The lad at the BBC, right? He emailed this one in. So thanks for that. Chicken. It's called Mike.
There's a chicken called... Sorry, I missed a bit there. There's a chicken called Mike.
Chicken called Mike.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened was, it was living on a farm, right? Loads of chickens knocking about, and the owner of the farm is like, getting ready for tea, and his wife says, "Go out and get a fresh chicken, because my mum's coming round." So he thinks, well, I want to get a good one in, because I want to impress her. Cause back then, even then, they wanted to impress the mother-in-law and that. So they said, "Right, I'll just nip out and get one." So he sees Mike, chicken, running around.
Is this during the war or after the war?
1945. I'd say that was after.
No, it ended. Well,
it ended in 1945.
Yeah, September. Go on.
So chicken's running about. He thinks that one, that looks all right. I'll have that one. So he picks it up, and he cuts his head off.
Oh.
Puts it on the block, cuts its head off, runs about a bit, like they do. He thinks it'll stop in a minute. Keeps running about. Oh, what's going on here? Right? He's now like chasing a chicken without an head.
Yeah.
He's saying he should die in a minute. Anyway, doesn't die. Chicken's walking around with no head. Lives for 18 months.
Yeah.
Chicken with no head.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I'll tell you, I've heard this story before, Rick, and the explanation, as I understand it, was that certain vital cords, spinal cords, weren't severed when the head came off, so that was why it continued to live.
Yep.
I don't know if that sounds plausible.
It's fine, absolutely fine. How did it take on protein and energy?
The fella who owned it, he said, well, hang on a minute, he said, I could kill it now,
But I've got a wonder chicken here.
but he's thinking, it must really want to live,
Sure.
right? If it survives that, they've sort of got something here.
Yeah.
So he, what he does, he gets a little, eye droplet thing that he used to use on it. Obviously not anymore, right? And he filled it with grain and water, and it had a big hole in its neck where its head used to be. And he,
Incredibly.
and he dropped...
You know what? There's. I mean, that is possible then. If it, without
have heard this,
infection,
Rick, to be fair.
without infection, if he is taking on things, it is possible, right? Why?
Why what?
Why did he do it? How cruel is that? I mean, that was not cruel because the chicken obviously,
He said if he thought it was a bit fed up, he would have killed it. He said, but it was running around quite happy.
Well, it wasn't fed up at all because it had no brain.
Well,
What do you mean? Well,
I'm just saying what...
it was nothing. It was just sinew and nerves and electrical impulses breaking down energies. Right. That's all it was. It didn't have a brain, so it was. But I'm worried about the psychology of keeping a pet without a head. I'm worried more about what the farmer was thinking than the
I
chicken.
tell you this, what the question I'm asking is, was the mother-in-law impressed? I mean, that's why he set out, that's why he set out to shot Mike's head off.
This is lovely, but it's just a head where you don't kill a chicken like that all at once.
I thought we were having chicken for dinner. Come and look at this, running around the yard.
Yeah! Oh, dear.
Oh, there you go, you've learned something there.
Yeah, I have learned something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, one more...
That farmer, I've learned that farmer was very strange indeed.
There you go.
I have to say, to be fair to Carl, I have a feeling like when I read it, the reason he kept it alive was as a novelty. He sold, he got charged people to come and see the incredible headless chicken called Mike.
Right.
So, there we are.
Right.
That's great.
So, tune, Steve?
A tune, yeah, I just thought I'd like to hear a little bit more from, that NERD album. We played some of this from there when it first came out many, many moons ago. Since then it's gone on, it's won awards, all sorts. And obviously NERD now, Nerd, as they're sometimes known, kind of big producers. They're producing Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, all kinds of people. But this is a track from their, album.
I've heard
and
they're
it's called-
wicked.
They are indeed. And this is called Things Are Getting Better. NERD, from their album In Search Of, and that's Things Are Getting Better. After the break we got, more Educating Ricky, and the results to this week's Rockbusters.
And Richard Ashcroft.
Oh, dynamite.
Richard Ashcroft. Check the Meaning on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant. Carl just remembered a little story he was excited to tell you.
Okay.
Go on.
Oh, are you going to tell him?
Oh, okay. When we went into this cafe last week after Carl had got his soil, we got 2 big bags of soil. I was going, get a bag for me. And he was like, no, I can walk home. After about 10 yards, he was going, oh, my arms hurt. So he had to get a cab. So we stopped in this cafe. He had spaghetti bolognese. You were loving it, weren't you?
It was good, it was a good little day out.
And there was a woman that worked there, and she sort of, I could see her sort of looking at me, and she and then she came over and said, are you off the telly? And I went, yeah. She went, yeah, Chris Moyles.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
And I just laughed, and we both started laughing. She went, no, sorry, I said, no, I'm not, Chris, what's your name? And I had to say it, I went, Ricky Gervais. She went, oh, no. She went, oh, the thing in the office. I went, yeah.
No, the funny thing was, she went and said,
oh, no, I saw you on
Jonathan
Ross, that's it, yeah.
So she'd obviously watched the Jonathan Ross show thinking, Chris Moyles has, lost his looks a bit or whatever. That's what I found funny, the fact that she must have watched it thinking that...
Yes, she went, no, I saw you the other day, and I was like, yeah, she went, oh, and then we were still sort of laughing, I was thinking, she went, oh, sorry, everybody, I was going, no, it's fine, I was thinking, imagine that, just like,
God.
Great, there's not a better one to pick.
That's just appalling.
Oh, that was lovely. It's the second time as well.
That you've been mistaken for Chris Moyles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, you've got to feel bad about that.
I've had Moyles, I've had, Vegas a few times.
Johnny Vegas, yeah, I can imagine.
So,
Do you think, like, people are going up to Moyles going, you did that thing about working in an office?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I hope that or not.
I don't know, it depends what he answers.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I thought you were going to say that, are you Chris Moores? No, what's your name? Ricky Gervais. I never heard of you. That'd be brilliant.